The tape doesn't lie. The film from week 9 of college football proved and showed that Texas star quarterback Arch Manning is improving.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson. I'm an NFL draft analyst with Bleacher Report. And as always, thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. Guys, you already know what it is. It's Watch the Tape Wednesday. I looked over the film from week 9, and I picked 3 players to talk about. Arch Manning, star quarterback from Texas, is improving, and I'm going to tell you why. Joey Aguilar, probably one of the better point guard style quarterbacks in this draft class, and D'Angelo Ponds, a 5'9", feisty, sticky corner that can play really good coverage when you need him to out on the boundary. But before we get into all of that, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Arch Manning is improving. The star quarterback from Texas, young player, right? You know, the family lineage of being a Manning with Eli and Peyton as his uncles and Archie Manning as his grandfather against Mississippi State in a game that they ended up winning in overtime. Arch Manning was 29-46, 346 yards passing, 7.5 yards per attempt, 3 passing touchdowns. He did have the 1 interception. And then he also added a touchdown on the ground using his legs as well. Some of the things that I jotted down when watching the tape of Arch Manning versus Mississippi State. Now, funny enough, this is a game last year when Mississippi State was an absolutely terrible team. Now they're 4-4, so they're not great. You know what I mean? But this is a team that's playing better football, and they're more competitive week in and week out. So this performance gives a little bit more dare I say, stability to the argument that he was good. Keith used this game last year, and Mississippi State was not good. But the point is, he's more confident, and you're seeing it with Arch Manning. He's becoming more and more confident as he plays, as the snaps go, as the game goes on, and as this game went on. At one point in this game, it was 14-31 in the third, right? Now, the ending score of this game was 45-38. Okay, so that lets you know that they came back. It was a 17-point deficit at the end of the third. Matter of fact, Blake Shapen had just scored a 2-yard rushing touchdown. It was the end of the game, end of the quarter, and it was just like, man, this is tough, right? The end of it was 14-31. Advantage Mississippi State, and he led them back from a 31-14 deficit, tied the game, forced it into overtime. He did end up leaving due to a concussion, but the things that I saw in this game were so encouraging. Anticipatory throws time and time again. He had some throws in this game, guys, that got me up out my seat, and I'm like, okay, Arch, this is what I wanted to see from you all season. And I think this is just a testament to, number one, let's stop overrating and overhyping guys in the offseason. Okay, let's stop it. He played 2 games, started 2 games for God's sakes. He didn't play any good competition and we put him as the number 1 player. No, we can't do that, right? You know what I mean? Just as a draft community, let's stop doing those things. But not just that, right? It's all about time and patience and time on task. And the more time he gets on task, the more comfortable he looks, the better he plays. And he saw a lot, especially in the first half to maybe into the third quarter. Mississippi State was lighting that offensive line up with 0 blitzes, 0 pressure, like just sending the house, playing man-to-man coverage. His receivers, I'm going to be honest with you, they have athleticism on like Ryan Wingo, DeAndre Moore, things of that nature. Maybe I think it's Emmanuel Mosley, I think is his name. The fourth, I think he's like a freshman or something like that. He might be their best pure route runner. And even then, he's not, like, to me, ready to truly be a star receiver right now. They don't have a lot of separators. And that makes things a little difficult. And holding the ball behind an offensive line that just isn't playing good football right now is never a recipe for success. But against zero blitz, anticipatory throw, he had one to DeAndre Moore on a corner route out of the slot, a slot corner. He stood tall. He delivered an on-target pass, and then he got blasted. He got lit up by the free runner. Okay, they were sending different looks and different blitzes, different cover zero blitzes where they would design it to get one specific guy free. I think on this, if I remember correctly, on this particular play I'm speaking on, it was the safety. It came out in man-to-man, cover one, single high, middle of the field closed, and then they sent the pressure. And that safety, who was the middle of the field closed guy, he paced himself, allowed them, I think it was kind of like with a cross dog blitz look. You got linebackers crossing to confuse some of the interior offensive linemen, and the running back that's trying to step up and protect his quarterback. Oh, he picks up the first free runner, but then there's another one, and there's not enough. Listen, it's all a numbers game. Hat on the hat until you don't have enough hats, and that's just what it was for Texas offensive line. But I love the anticipatory throws. Throwing against pressure. There was a throw to Ryan Wingo later on this game. There's a deep ball, I think fourth quarter, where he's flushed to his left, to his weak side. He's a right-handed quarterback, gets his shoulder squares and just uncorks it all the way down the field to Ryan Wingo, leading him away from the trailing defenders who he had already stacked and everything like that. But I also really appreciate the usage of under center snaps with NFL concepts, off hard play action with the naked boot action. He can hit the tight end in the flats. It creates a natural RPO run pass option, and it creates that option to be Arch Manning. He's the run pass option because now he's booting out. And now you have to decide: do I stick to my receiver as a defensive back and let him waltz into the end zone, or do I trigger downhill and try and make him make a throw at the last minute, and hopefully he doesn't see me on the way triggering downhill? It puts a defense in conflict when you can do that, especially in the low red zone. And he had a rushing touchdown in this game, as I talked about earlier. I believe it was off of a zone read, QB keeper off the zone read. And everything, dove at the pylon, at the goal line, got the touchdown and everything. Now, again, using his legs to climb the pocket, he had a throw to Ryan Wingo in the middle of the field. I think Ryan Wingo might have dropped 3 to 4 passes in this game. It was not an encouraging game for him completely. But one thing I really appreciate that with Arch, you see him comfortably climbing the pocket. Then he kind of works, with a little bit of he fakes like he's going to break the line of scrimmage and run. He kind of moves that linebacker, and then he lobs it right there. Just a nice on-target pass. Just not feet not set, any of that. He just nice on-target pass to Ryan Wingo with so much room to work. After the catch, Wingo drops it, right? So he had another one. Again, him getting the ball out early. Because what does that say? Getting the ball out early means that you're seeing it, and you're seeing it quickly. So that connection between him and his receivers are growing as well, because you see him throwing either before they break or as they're starting the break point of their route, the apex of their route. Okay, so you're starting to see that with him. He had another throw. Man, this was one of my favorite throws of the game from him. Low red zone. He's going through the progressions. And he comes back from 1 to 2. He comes back in the middle of the field to 3. Tight end. I blame the jack injuries. Looks like a tight end was working the back of the goal line, back in the end zone, right? And he gets off of the first read, gets off the second read, comes back to the middle of the field, and he rips a throw. Rips it. It's right between the numbers. DB did make a good play trying to rake through the hands of the tight end of the pass catcher. But, man, you're talking about an NFL throw. I loved it. Whizzed it right by right over the head of the defensive line and past the linebackers. And if that tight end could have hold on to that ball, that probably one of the better throws of the day in college football, man. And again, he had one where he uncorked it probably 40, 50 yards on the run, to his left. So I think what we should say is this is what we wanted to see from Arch. Now, does he still have some struggles against pressure? Yeah, he still has those struggles. He still needs to work on eye manipulation and holding defenders and not carrying them into the window. Yes, he needs to work on those things. But nonetheless, Arch Manning is making the strides, and he's improving, and I love to see it. Coming up next, Joey Aguilar, the point guard style quarterback for the Tennessee Vols, and why he is the key to their success. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every single ride, with more IIHS top safety pick awards than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details, and Mazda brings this same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything you'd like, but from smooth handling to intuitive controls, with all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. So, like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. With the NFL in full swing, honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle. Between queues, login screens, and prices jumping at checkout, it's frustrating. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app made it super simple. I could even see the exact view from my seat before purchasing or buying my ticket. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On NFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Joey Aguilar is the key to success for the Tennessee Volunteers offense. He is the straw that stirs this drink. And coming into the season, you probably wouldn't have thought that after losing Nico Iamaleava, and how he's much more of a physically gifted and talented quarterback with his athleticism, his arm talent. He's 6'6", he can run, through defenders, things of that nature, being a strong runner and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, Joey Aguilar is playing really good football this season, and he is the point guard that Josh Heupel needed to run this offense. They come off a win. They're 6-1 in the season, ranked 14th in the country right now, against Kentucky, 56-34. And in this game, Joey Aguilar was such an efficient game. 20 of 26, 396 yards passing, 15 yards per attempt, 3 passing touchdowns, with a passer rating of 156.7. This young man was on a heater, and I loved the accuracy that I saw from him. But not, he was accurate at all 3 levels: the short, the intermediate, and deep down the field. And speaking about deep down the field, connected with Chris Brazzell, his big play, the best receiver on this team right now, in my opinion, connected with Chris Brazzell on the deep ball multiple times. One of them was once was for a touchdown earlier in the game, I believe in the first quarter, on a post route. So again, super efficient performance. The accuracy and overall decision-making was good from the pocket. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. He didn't test windows that he shouldn't have tested like that. He did the right things. And what I call that, managing the game, but also making the big plays. And this is why I think Joey Aguilar is going to be an intriguing quarterback prospect for NFL teams, simply because of the fact that he has proven, hey, I can run your offense. I can be the game manager. I can be the point guard. Give me the shooters, and I'm gonna get the ball to them, right? I'm gonna do all of those things. But at the same time, if you give me that open 3 ball, I'm hitting it. I'm knocking it down. And you saw that it was the post route was good. The go route to Chris Brazzell, chef's kiss. I love the read. I love the throw. I loved every single bit of it, guys. I'm telling you, I was so impressed by what I saw from him being able to put that ball right on the outside shoulder, away from the defender, allowing his guy to make a play, and only his guy only could make a play on that ball. We know that he's got athleticism. He's a plus level athlete. He can use his feet, his legs to make some plays and create some out of structure opportunities and situations. We know that. Those who watch Joey Aguilar know that he can do this. But I definitely think that this is a guy, from watching the tape, so NFL teams are going to like him. They're going to like him. The story is there. He's gritty. He's moxie. He fought his way to getting here. All those things that make for a really good documentary one day if he becomes a Hall of Famer. I'm tell you right now. Woof. But nonetheless, I think this guy can start in the NFL, man. I mean, we're watching Mac Jones start games. We've seen a lot of inept quarterbacks start games. Marcus Mariota, tired of seeing him start games. Washington needs to go ahead and get them a new quarterback. And speaking of Washington, I truly believe, especially for how he wins, I think Cliff Kingsbury, like, I know some people be like, oh, this could create a QB controversy. No. What you want to do is to make sure that in case Jayden Daniels, struggles with an injury next year, I'm just saying, fourth round, top of the fourth round, if they have a fourth round pick, maybe back in the third, you take Joey Aguilar, man, and Joey Aguilar wins from these spread open concepts, shotgun, doesn't get under center a lot, and those aren't things you got to worry too much about, to get under center and doing those things. With Cliff Kingsbury, he's going to spread the defense and widen them out horizontally. He's going to give you the throwing lanes horizontally. He's going to let you throw some quick hitters. I believe you would get more with Joey Aguilar at quarterback once he gets his footing than a Marcus Mariota at this point in his career, right? So when I look at him down, I do want him to, I want to see Aguilar improve. And I think I've said this before. It's got to be the anticipation throws for me, man. The anticipation throws, sometimes most times down the field, especially in the middle of the field, he tends to be a see it, throw it guy. And what I mean by that is he throws it after he sees that the receiver is open. So sometimes those lead to late throwing attempts. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm fine with you seeing it and throwing it, being a see it, throw a quarterback. If you're seeing it fast, if you're seeing it quick, and if you're seeing it early, if you're seeing it in that way, I'm fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. But if you're seeing it and you don't trust to get the ball out early, you put us in some conflict because the ball could be late. You think about trying to throw a dig route to Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill or just whatever insert fastest receivers in the league. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm just being honest. Trying to throw that to them and you're late, it's going to be behind them. And then they're as the receiver, they're going to try to make it up for you, make the one-handed grab, it tips off their hand, pops up in the air. It's like a pop fly at an MLB game. Somebody's going to come down with the ball, man. And at the end of the day, you don't want to create tip drills, which then creates an opportunity for an interception, turnover, things of that nature, right? So Joey Aguilar, accurate, plus level athlete, good arm, can throw the deep ball, can win at all three levels as a passer, can make some plays out of structure, has to improve the anticipatory throws, has to improve dealing with pressure. I want to see him slide in the pocket more, climb that pocket, physically and aggressively climb that pocket, two hands with the football, and drive it, man. Okay, your edge pressure is getting home, but your interior defensive line pressure is stuck right where they were. They stuck in quicksand. My interior offensive line is doing their job, and I got to reward them by climbing the pocket. But guys, some of rewarding and climbing pockets and climbing rankings, D'Angelo Ponds, cornerback from Indiana, 5'9", 170, 80 pounds. Young man can play. But we're going to I'm going to tell you what the tape showed me when they faced off with UCLA in week 9.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. One of the grittiest, one of the pound for pound toughest cornerbacks in college football and in the NFL Draft resides in Indiana with the Hoosiers, and that's D'Angelo Ponds. D'Angelo Ponds listed as 5'9", 173 pounds. This young man against UCLA, 32 coverage snaps, targeted 3 times, 0 receptions allowed. Okay. He had 2 PBUs. On 2 of the 3 attempts, he broke the pass up. He is so good at playing through the hands, sticking, playing like tight coverage, playing that sticky tight coverage where it's hard to get away from him. He had a really good rep where on one of his PBUs, he was playing man-to-man coverage, one-on-one, and receiver took an inside release, and he crossed back went back across the face of Ponds, worked the outside angle, looked like he was going to run like a corner route, and then chopped it down for looks like a stop route. And he did such a great job. Ponds did such a great job being able to stay under control, not panicking, not losing his mind, staying in phase, and then he was able to make a play on the football. I think when you look at D'Angelo Ponds and you look at what he brings, when you're 5'9", I mean, it's not in your favor, right? You're 5'9", 173 pounds. That is not something that is in your favor whatsoever in terms of going to the NFL, right? But, I mean, just even on the season, man, like when you look at what he's done, only 1 touchdown allowed, and that was in week 1. 4 PBUs. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong column. 0 touchdowns allowed. He had the 1 interception in week 1, and he's got 4 pass breakups, okay? So he knows how to win, how to put things like how to put the receiver in some difficult spots along with the quarterback. And he's only played in the slot 2 times this year. He's predominantly an outside corner. And when you say, well, can he live there? Can he do it consistently? I think you look right at the Washington Commanders' second year corner. Yeah, Mike Sainristil. Another guy, 5'9", 182 pounds. Yeah, I mean, he's playing good ball, and people looked at him as solely being a slot. Remember, he's a former wide receiver. Spent 2 years at wide receiver at Michigan before transitioning to play cornerback. So for me, I look at D'Angelo Ponds similar to Mike Sainristil, tough, gritty, hard-nosed corners that they will come up and tackle. They will battle you at the catch point. Don't think you're about to climb up the tree and put the star on for Christmas, because they're not letting it happen, right? You know, for those who have kids, if you know, you know. Trying to put the star on without them or with them, you know, without including them and incorporating them. Yeah, they're not too happy about that, and they're trying to climb up your back to put the star up themselves. D'Angelo Ponds, I was so impressed with him even during the summer. Remember watching him versus Denzel Boston and how he was able to play really good coverage against Denzel Boston, even beat him out at the catch point for an interception. This young man is talented. He's instinctive. He's intelligent from a football standpoint, but he brings that tough, that grittiness, that moxie, those things that you can't coach into a player. So, of course, I mean, you think about, oh, man, he just got traded. From the Tennessee Titans. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I remember that Roger McCreary. That's what I'm sorry, Roger McCreary. So Roger McCreary, one thing with him, I remember watching him coming out. He played within himself and he understood, hey, I'm not 6'1", 200 pounds. I'm not going to sit here and physically press you and try and disrupt you for you to just physically displace me, like just move me out the way and create a clear path for your route. I don't think so. I don't think that's the way that it should work. So I think when you look at D'Angelo Ponds, will there be teams that say, hey, we want you as a nickel? Yes. I think matter of fact, his first interception, it was only interception, but his interception this year was against, I believe it was against Dominion. And they tried to throw, was it this year? I want to make sure because I'm trying to make sure if it was this year or last year's interception. But there was a play that I remember watching of him last year where it might have been this year against Dominion. But nonetheless, the play, he was kind of lined up in the slot, in the overhang slot position. They went to either a bubble screen or a wide receiver screen. He snuffed it out with the quickness, jumped it, took it to the house for 6. And I'm like, wow, okay, all right. You know what I mean? I'm like, I see you, big dog. Like, but it was clear that it was a Washington game, actually. That was a Washington game last year. Because in that game against Washington, he had, I believe it was 2 interceptions in that game, if I remember correctly. I think it was that game, week 9 against Washington. That was the play. That was one of those plays where I'm like, yo, this kid's instinctive. Like, because it's almost like he knew the play call, right? He knew the play call. They wanted to go to that slot bubble screen with the stock block from Denzel Boston. And he's playing in the nickel, and he read it like it was practice. Like he was facing his first team offense that he's faced all season, and he knows the playbook. That's what it felt like. So instinctive, hard-nosed player. He's going to be great in the locker room, energetic guy, and he's going to play good coverage at the end of the day. Whether it's he plays a multitude of coverages as well, right? He's got great zone eyes from depth, reads and reacts well, plays bigger than his size at 5'9". Like I said, compares to Mike Sainristil, but I also love the fact that what he does is he plays side saddle bail. He'll play soft press, might give you a little bit of bump and run, and then he plays catch technique, where he's giving you 5 to 7 yards of cushion. And once you get close into his airspace, he makes contact, slows you down, stays in phase, and he's in position to make a play on the football. So at the end of the day, man, D'Angelo Ponds is a cornerback that I think all 32 teams should want on their team, whether he's playing nickel or whether he's playing outside corner. To me, it doesn't matter. You think about the Amik Robertsons, different guys like that, man. I think this young man has a strong NFL future ahead of him. But guys, that is Watch the Tape Wednesday. We broke down D'Angelo Ponds, the 5'9", 170-pound cornerback from Indiana. Joey Aguilar, point guard style quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers, and Arch Manning's improvement in becoming a star quarterback for real with the Texas Longhorns. Get well soon. Hopefully that concussion doesn't last too long and he's able to get back to being 100%. But guys, again, as always, go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. On tomorrow's show, we are actually going to get into our top 10 prospects tomorrow. We're going to have that conversation on tomorrow's show. So come join the conversation again tomorrow on Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.